Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Stellaris. In our Song of the Stars series, guess where we are? We are in the Sidor system. And thank you so much to the commenter who pointed this out. One of the reasons I couldn't find this last game is, my enthrallment, my state of excitement with this new details map mode. I haven't quite adjusted to playing with it turned off as it currently exists in this new form. So I know I've brought this up a decent amount, but that is actually the reason that I couldn't see this massive mineral system, which I was trying to locate in the last episode, because at some point this will generate an event. But the other kind of caveat to that is one of the reasons I was looking for it with the details mode turned off is I hadn't thought that I had built it up yet, but we have. It's the Sidor system, and it's in our territory. It's actually in Cisalpina, up there. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, because at some point those crystals will go crazy and try to kill us. But before then, I'm just going to keep colonizing. Another thing that I need to do really quickly, actually before we go into full speed mode, I want to take a look again at sector planning, because we've had some discussion in comments, and this is not the first time that I have heard about this, but this is going to be the first time, I think maybe ever, in a playthrough of Stellaris on YouTube or off, where I try actively to adapt to this. So evidently, one of my preconceived notions about the way that science works in the game, and I'm going to go ahead and give you what the preconceived notion is, because not only will it help you understand my decisions up to this point, but again, if you are new to Stellaris and still learning from watching this series, you can learn from my error, because I think what I was thinking and the way I was thinking is very, very common and rational and kind of intuitive, but there's an extra layer you should know about. So my preconceived notion was this. All of these systems that we are adding to our territory, whether in sectors, core systems, let's go ahead and turn on details map mode. All of these systems have the potential to be systems like this, with, elements of the system that provide society research, physics research, biology research, or not biology research, but engineering research. These three right here. So I have always thought, and I've never really ran into such a huge problem in the game that I've said to myself, maybe it doesn't work that way, that just the more territory you accrue, logically, the more research you earn, and therefore the exponentially faster you advance. It doesn't work that way. So one thing you should understand, now there's nothing in the tooltip here to indicate this, but unfortunately, as your empire grows, as you take on more and more territory, you get increasingly diminishing returns on expanding, across new territory to get research stations built. You get increasingly less, in other words, for every new research station, the larger your empire is. So that's actually kind of one advantage of, as the saying goes, playing tall. Because when you play tall, and you have, what that means for those of you who aren't familiar with the phrase, is you either play wide or you play tall in strategy games like this where you conquer territory. Playing wide means you're doing what I'm doing. You're going out and you're conquering a bunch of territory, and you're trying to be the biggest, baddest faction on the map. And ideally, you're trying to control the entire map. That's really the goal of the wide player. Playing tall means, well, in Civilization 5 terms, that you build 4 cities. And you never build any more than that. But that's the idea, is that you actually have a limited number of sectors that you want to colonize, which is good in games of Stellaris where there are more AI factions on the map and you're forced to kind of contain yourself in a given area. So because I'm playing wide, that's why I seem to be struggling in science. And there are some things we're going to do to make up for this. For instance, we will be taking on the enigmatic fortress. Not just yet. Again, I want my fleet strength way up, and we don't quite have the fleet capacity for it now. We're working on it, but we're not there yet. So I know I've been saying fortress, fortress, fortress. We're going to do it when we're good and ready. Okay? That's number one. So when we beat that, we will hopefully get some interesting technologies. Number two, we are going to go for megastructures in this game. Of course we are. It's my first Utopia playthrough. We're going to do megastructures. And the very first one I am likely to build is a science nexus. Okay? So that's actually going to help us improve our science even further, because it gives ridiculous science bonuses. It's basically the equivalent of like finding a system with insane science in it. So it's not going to be like a huge change, but it'll be good to have it. And then after that, as far as megastructures go, just to let you know what we're going to do further down that chain, I'm actually probably going to build a Dyson sphere next, because that will give us a huge surplus of energy, which we can use to fund fleets and stuff. And then after that, we can maybe pursue habitats, which I know it seems like maybe do habitats first, but that Dyson sphere and that energy boost as a way of supporting fleets, especially by the time we get the Dyson sphere built, will be incredibly important. And I've done it. I've built a Dyson sphere in offline play. It does exactly what you'd expect it to do as far as funding your empire. So we're going to focus on that. And then as far as continuing to fix the research issue, one of the things that I found out, and this is very, very interesting, and I appreciate my commenters for helping me learn about this. When you establish research agreements, which just in the very last episode, let's go ahead and unpause while I'm talking. Let's go to maybe speed 2 so it's not too crazy. I was talking about how, well, I don't know if I want to do research agreements. Well, it turns out that the bonus you get to technologies that other species have already researched is applied after every other penalty and buff in the game, which means that they have a really, really nice effect, especially if you're playing wide, if you do research agreements. So now I doubt that I can do a research agreement with like the Fallen Empire, for instance, but you know, I think one thing I might start doing, see, they're definitively not interested in a research agreement with me because they're a Fallen Empire, but good. This will help with our energy deficit. So the new leader of Classis Missinensis, who you may remember from last time, Meng Mao, or actually like 2 episodes back, I think, has learned to carefully nurse his supplies to significantly reduce ship operating costs. So that's good. Let's go ahead and upgrade those ships while we're thinking about it. And Classis Ravenus does not need an upgrade. Let's see, okay, if these upgrades are happening right now, let's see what happens to the fleet strength, because this is basically applying our new designs. And there are some things I want to do design-wise in just a second as well. But anyway, to get back to what I was saying, and I will, well, hang on. Let's see what happens here. Upgraded. Nice. Okay. So got a little bit more power out of that, and we do need to make some other tweaks as well. So we're going to be doing that again soon. But just to finish my train of thought, one other thing that I might do, given that whole thing about the research agreements, is since we are on good terms with the Tendrakians right now and they're superior to me, let's at least examine the possibility. Yeah, see, they're not far off at all from signing up for a research agreement with us. So if we let's provide something to them that we have in abundance. Let's see if they want Teldar crystals. All right, so that actually helps a good bit, and we have a ton of those. And let's take one quick look at what they do. Kinetic weapon damage plus 15%. I can't remember what kinds of damage their fleets do. Oh, we've got the Cybrex research station in Diadem. Hello. All right, so she's repairing that. You come research that, please. That's a Cybrex chain that we haven't. Oh, wait. Glad I caught myself doing that. So right now, what are you doing? Crap. I need to keep an eye on her. We're going to send her right into the frickin' enigmatic fortress. So yeah, we need to do that. But let's go back and let's see what he might be willing to do. Because if we can do a research treaty with these guys, that'll help us get caught up. It will also help the Tendrakians. But I think militarily, we are going to be surpassing them anyway. So if our technology is kind of, if we don't necessarily surge ahead of them technologically in this, we will surge ahead of maybe other factions in the galaxy. Will make up for some of our deficit, and we will again still be gaining territory and fleet strength. So we're going to be able to take over their space no matter what at some point, which is one of my next objectives. If I haven't said that recently, but I'm pretty sure I have, like a million times. So let's go to strategic resources, Teldar crystals. Now, what else? I also have 2 Aurelium ore and 2 Satramine gas. Now, Satramine, they're not interested in. So if I did an instant transfer of minerals. Oh, interesting. I can transfer a paltry sum, like so, and I can lengthen the deal Hang on, what if we... Well, let's just go with 10 years. Let's see what happens after 10 years of this. Yeah, let's send that to him. Okay, we've accepted a research agreement with these guys. And of course, we have factions that want us to do research agreements as well. So we could also do research agreements with other factions, like the Kingdom of Yonderim. They are unfriendly toward us, so we would have to negotiate a little bit more. But let's also take a look at the Tranquil Polity out here. These are unfriendly. Not quite as unfriendly, I don't think, as these guys. No, they're under 100. Negative 100, as a matter of fact. Now, the Demazanians, how are they? Their technology level is equivalent compared to ours. So if we were to do a research treaty with them, it would be less likely that we would find... Again, we get bonuses on technologies that they have already researched. So if they are equivalent to us, we're less likely to find any options, really, among, you know, the techs they already have. So I'll tell you what, before we make a deal with them, ideally we should have 3 at once. These guys are equivalent, and they're very, very friendly. So we can even form a defensive pact with them. But tell you what, let's go ahead and do let's try this just for 10 years and see what happens, because I've never messed with it this much. But again, this is the first time I'm attempting to adapt to this mechanic that's been there for a long time. I've just never had enough of a problem in Stellaris to, you know, to actually recognize it. I've always done okay, including in the Song of the Stars series, which many of you already watched me play. So let's go ahead and we're going to do another trade treaty here. Let's sign up for a research agreement, and hopefully these guys, oh man, I was kind of hoping they'd just be willing to do it outright. But let's go ahead and go to strategic resources, give them Teldar crystals, and it looks like they're already quite happy with that idea. So it's just a matter of, yeah, let's give them 100 minerals, send that offer along, and then the Demazanians are the other one. And this is going to be 3 research agreements if it goes through. Research agreement, research agreement. Oh, wow. You are not nearly as friendly to me as those others were. If we give you Teldar crystals, maybe? No, not even a little bit. Wow, you are not nearly as friendly to me. That's very, very interesting. Now, we're already rivals with the Polysimus Order. Ultimately, we're going to take over the Tendrakians, so it's kind of weird. But again, we're trying to keep these guys off of us while we expand in this direction. And speaking of expansion, how much influence we're sitting at? 31? 31. Nice. Check this out. So we can finally expand Narbonensis sector. Let's go ahead and do that. And I just realized there's one more thing I want to talk about when it comes to science. And we're going to try that too, just to kind of see how it affects the economy. All right, Narbonensis has expanded. We have lots more expansion to do, but that's a great step in the right direction. We have an automated shipyard project that's being finished here, and then again, we have to keep an eye on the Zephyr. So let's let her finish that project so that we can remember to give this order. Okay, so we have 2 research agreements. Let's take a quick look at factions. Was factions F7? Yes, it was. All right, the Academy of Research Efficiency. Okay, so we need a 3rd research treaty in order to get more influence from them. The Business Analyst Initiative, again, as soon as we have our 10th strategic resource, we'll be okay. But, so one other thing that I want to change is I want to, as soon as we're done keeping an eye on this particular scientist, because I don't want to send them headlong into the enigmatic fortress, is our sector management. We have set them all to balanced, but we can actually tell all of our sectors to focus on generating additional research, which could help us catch up. Now, maybe I don't do that with some of the newer sectors that are still trying to build themselves, but established sectors like Cisalpina, like Magna Graecia, even Illyria. Okay, nice. So that's done. And now this science ship. Oh, we got new ships. Cool. This is the R44 class. Let's have a quick look at them. So these are our new ships that we got from repairing the shipyard. Nice. They basically look like pirate ships. Hey, That looks like the... I think that might be the same skull graphic, just differently manipulated to make it unique, that they use for interloper mode in the Long Dark. Because that looks familiar there. Just go to my... Seriously, if you're on my YouTube channel on a computer right now, while you're looking at this, open up another window, search for the Long Dark Interloper Hadrian. Do it. You will see that skull in the thumbnail. So anyway, sorry, huge tangent. So let's go ahead and, first of all, we want to give a fresh order to this scientist because we want her to go... All right, so you're going to go like this. Perfect. All right, so what that's going to do is she's going to enter the system here as opposed to here. And that's how we lost several science ships in the series. God, this series is going to go down as like the most science ships I ever lost in a Stellaris game. And I'm recording it for YouTube just to make things extra fun and embarrassing. So let's, I think we need to expand. We still need to build up influence just a little bit in order to be able to expand faster, but we're making good progress. There's a Savannah world here, an Alpine world here. We also have a lot of Tomb worlds. This is, again, detail mode is turned on right now, so you're seeing a lot more than I typically, have been looking at. But this is the way I'm used to playing Stellaris, and it's interesting to see the red spheres. These are worlds that will be habitable to us soon because they're, maybe above 10%. I'm not sure what the minimum is to actually see the red orbs. There's a point where you don't even see a planet when it's so far below your possible range. But it's the game kind of letting you know, hey, at some point you've got a planet here that you might be able to do something with. So anyway, now that science ship is fixed, let's go ahead and go to sector management and let's try to make some changes. Right now this sector is on balanced status. This is Magna Graecia. And as you can see, they're producing a good deal of research. But if we put them on research focus, it could actually help. So let's start by, I keep thinking I can click that and change it. You should be able to click that and change it. I imagine Martin will add that before long. Love this track so much. This should be in a damn movie. I've got a couple of sectors without leaders, but I've got room for 2 more leaders, but I don't know. See, that'll give us more influence if we have leaders for those sectors. Actually, you know what? I just realized something that we can do to get some more influence, and I'm going to do it right now. So let's... Which leader was that? We've got Wen Wang, which sounds hilarious, and Julieta Romero in Narbonensis. All right, Julieta Romero, I need more information on you, though. Can I not find out more? Okay, so she's resilient. That's what I need to know, but I can't remember what resilient is. Oh, there it is. Plus 25%. I don't know why I was blanking on that. And is it Qiang Lin that's governing the other sector I was looking at? No, it's Wen Wang. So she's adaptable. Yeah, it's right frickin' there. I don't know what I was looking for. All right, extra experience gain. So nothing really fantastic from either of those leaders. Here's what I'm going to do. Talked about this last episode. I'm actually going to pull the trigger. So the Raetia sector is about to become Raetia et Noricum. Okay. And then, now the only thing is that this is not going to be, I'm not going to be able to do this overnight because we don't have enough influence to just do this outright, to disband a sector entirely. We actually need to have a ridiculous amount of influence to completely delete the sector. But let's see. I can start at least. So let's see what would happen if I added... Well, first of all, no. It costs 25. All right, so every single click is going to be 25 influence. Yeah, let's build up some influence before we do this. I went ahead and renamed that, and I will go ahead and hire some new leaders because we can get that influence coming in a little bit faster if we go ahead and recruit leaders for Noricum and Aquitania. And eventually we will have one less sector because we're going to combine those sectors. That's what I was going to do. All right, so now the Noricum sector, I don't want it governed by by a Gurite. That would just be weird. But we could Now this is for the sector that's going away, so maybe Aquitania should have the scientist. Not the scientist, but the intellectual. We can only do this for one sector so far. So Aquitania is not quite ready to go to research focus just yet. Or maybe we can do research focus on a number of different... You know what? Screw it. Let's try it. Let's see what happens to our economy. If anything tanks, then we'll switch back. But let's have all of our sectors focused... I really think you should be able to click that. Let's have all of our sectors focused on improving research. Even the ones without governors. Help us get caught up, guys. Now we'll see what happens to our plus 68 and plus 231. You guys keep an eye on it too. Let's close this out and we'll see how it goes. All right. So the change isn't going to happen overnight. They have to make shifts in their populations, and then of course their own construction ships will determine, you know, kind of where things get built and whatnot, and that's how you see a science focus take shape. But ideally, God, I just need one more research agreement with somebody. I've got 2 going. Yeah, see, we're bringing in a good amount of extra research from sectors, and that might be going up. Yeah, I think I just saw it go up, as a matter of fact. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm dreaming things. But in any case, it should start going up a little bit. So I would really like to get that number a little bit higher too. How's our science ship doing? All right, so science ship just arrived in Balawar. Moment of truth. Perfect. So she is perfectly safe. Now she's going to investigate the Cybrix research station, which has been sitting there forever and a day. This ship needs a scientist, actually. Can't quite recruit. Oh, yeah, that's right. We did this at the end of the last episode, which ironically I just recorded within like the past 6 or 7 hours. But life right now is crazy. In
Construction complete.
Several days, honestly. It's not going to be like tomorrow or the next day, but I will have the opportunity to record more episodes at once, which generally means more coherent episode-to-episode transitions. Like, because, I mean, in general right now, I'm playing for 30 minutes to an hour at a time, and I'm walking away from it, you know, which because I just have so many other things to do. That's not normal, and it leads to me kind of being a little bit more forgetful about things than in usual Let's Plays, which is really kind of sad because this has been a big series, so there's a lot of new people watching, but this is, you know, kind of not the way things normally go. The surface of Com Prunet is covered in lush forest with massive tree analogs rising hundreds of meters into the air. Interestingly, our colonists have found that nearly all the flora is mobile to various degrees. Forests stretching for miles will slowly migrate to new areas richer in nutrients in a cycle that seems tied to the planet's orbit. Unfortunately, this has seriously hampered our efforts to develop the colony's infrastructure. The migrating trees frequently cut power lines while smashing our buildings and roads into rubble. Damn. We'll tell you what, we need to find a solution, and I usually enjoy studying these. Now, let's go ahead and set that up. It'll be done relatively quickly. We have over 30 influence, so we can actually... Let's go ahead and hire a leader here first, because that's another way we're going to catch up research-wise. So, I'm thinking this guy, even though it's a Gurite. So racist. Let's go with the custom AI assistant. Yeah, and this is an older Gurite, so I'm not sure how long Gurite live, but yeah, you're going to be a pretty good scientist for us. You go on auto exploration, and we finally have that ship doing its thing again, and it looks like we have some new stuff we can build here. Oh wait, no, that's actually outside of our territory. Good times. All right, so in that case, you have things... Oh, good. All right, so we have learned that the roaming forests on Com Prunet avoid certain regions that are home to colonies of a native pseudo-insect. These insects secrete a pheromone that can be used to steer the wandering trees away from population centers. Furthermore, the areas where the forests most frequently range, have been closed off as nature reserves. Our biologists can learn much by studying this reserve from neighboring regions. So now this planet has the Wandering Forest Reserve modifier. So this improves... Let's see where it is. Improving research on neighboring tiles. But... But where is it, though? Oh, here it is. It's right here. Wandering Forest Reserve. So any tiles nearby, any tiles here, will be more research productive, which is quite nice, really. Now, we need to see if we can expand anything more on this planet. Let's keep the game unpaused. We've had so many little housekeeping things to do over the past episode or 3 or 4 that I haven't let much time go by. The early game went by pretty quickly because it tends to. But now it's like pausing the game to figure stuff out. A lot. Anyway, nice. Forest adaptation is raising happiness by 20%. Continued interaction between our colonists and the wandering forest on Calm Perune have revealed that the trees are in possession of some form of rudimentary communal intelligence. This is why I don't burn them. They seem to have adapted to our presence and now go out of their way to avoid damaging the property of our colonists, even without the use of the insect pheromone. Spirits among the colonists have risen. So now these colonists are going to be much, much happier, even though it's not showing yet.
Construction
It might be because they're a faction member of some kind. All right, this construction ship was in need of a task, weren't they? Oh wow, there's actually a lot of things. Well, what's going on here? I thought I queued all this up. I guess it's just there's a science ship nearby that's closer that can start doing things. So, tell you what, I'm gonna overlap. I've done this from time to time in the series. I don't think I've ever done it quite this consciously so many times, such that I've like noticed that I'm doing it. But like I'm deliberately sending orders to the same systems that I've already queued up to a certain extent, knowing that the ships might kind of get there at the same time and maybe bump heads a little bit, but the end result hopefully is that things will get built faster. Oh nice, check this out. Lots more upgrades. And we can go ahead and build. One of the native kingdoms has rallied under a mysterious... Oh, this is our scientist. And we have seen evidence of them using advanced technology far beyond the current level of development. Could this be related to our missing scientist? Jerk. You jerk. Messing around with the locals. And let's get a power plant here. These are all core planets, so just need to make sure that they are in tip-top shape. Well, tell you what, we are at the 27-minute mark, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this one here, and then the next one, which I am about to record, actually, I'm going to do 2 in 1 sitting here. So we are going to continue, trying to expand in this direction. We just need the influence for it, and right now our influence went down again. Why? What is even happening? Hang on, before I cut this, I need to know what's happening here. Edicts. All right, so a defensive pact is taking some of my influence. And there's a frontier outpost. Where is there a frontier outpost? Hang on. That's an observation post. Oh yeah, it's in Sheliak. I can probably disband that now, I would imagine, especially once I colonize here. So let's go ahead and do that, and then I'll colonize in that system when I can. This will help take care of some of the influence problem. Let's go ahead and disband it. That's the one that's been sitting there for a while, and I was hesitant to because for that reason. But once we colonize the planet, I mean, we barely lost anything. And now we have +2 influence again, but which is still not high. So we're going to work on getting that up a little bit higher next episode, as well as just keeping an eye on our research in general and seeing if there's anything else we can do there. So not a lot of time past this episode. Actually, tell you what, before I close this one, what I'll do is I will let all 3 of these projects finish so we can make some more choices before we wrap up. We're almost done with ion disruptors, which is quite exciting. Oh, nice. So we finished our project here and got some engineering research done. An analysis of the Cyberx research module we found above Diadem 4 has revealed that the machine consciousness was experimenting with cybernetic life forms. Hundreds of unfortunate prisoners were transported to this facility for the purpose of having their limbs and organs replaced with various mechanical contraptions. The exact objective of these tests remains unclear. There is no evidence that the Cyberx ever made use of cybernetic units outside of this lab. All right, so that shaved a month off of battleship assembly yards. We're going to be done with Ion Disruptor and with those, and hopefully have some interesting choices to be made.
Research complete.
All right, let's see. So we have the next level disruptor, which is quite nice. 0-point reactor probably needs to be researched sooner than later. Plus, I think it'll give me access to some other technologies that are quite useful. And by other technologies that are quite useful, I mean it'll help open the path towards megastructures. So yeah, I'll tell you what, let's go for that. It's going to be 84 months, but we need that new power type. And then we could go for advanced fighters and bombers. Let's go ahead and do that. And I know I mentioned a moment ago in the episode that I was going to do some ship customization. We are going to do that. I'm going to do that at the beginning of the next one, just based on some feedback I got about the fighters in particular. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. New episodes are coming out every day at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.